Dacia Duster was the Romanian company's first model to arrive in the UK in 2013. It's also still hugely possible following its 2016 facelift. Available with 2- or 4-wheel drive, the Duster is a rival to crossovers such as the Skoda Yeti, Suzuki Vitara and Nissan Qashqai. With a compellingly low starting price for the entry-level 2-wheel drive version, it undercuts the competition by some margin. According to the company, it hasn't had a detrimental effect on the quality, although some plastics feel on the cheap side. At the same time, all but entry-level access models get plenty of kit as standard. Dacia Duster engine lineup. The Duster is available with a choice of 2 petrols and 1 diesel engine, all found elsewhere in various Renault models. All of them can be specified with either 2- or 4-wheel drive. There's a 115 horsepower 1.6-litre naturally aspirated petrol powering access and ambience modules, badged 115, while higher spec Laureate and Prestige Dusters come with a 125 horsepower 1.2-litre turbocharged petrol badged 125. The former emits between 145 grams/km and 155 grams/km of CO2 depending on whether you opt for 2- or 4-wheel drive, while the turbo petrol emits between 138 grams/km and 145 grams/km. This 115 returns 44.1 miles per gallon and 41.5 miles per gallon in 2- and 4-wheel drive forms respectively, and its returns a claimed 46.3 miles per gallon in 4x2 form, while the 4x4 is thirstier at 44.1 miles per gallon. Opt for a diesel and you get a familiar Renault Source 1.5-litre DC unit producing 110 horsepower, which is by far the cleanest and most economical engine in the Duster range, with claimed fuel economy of 64.2 miles per gallon for the 4x2 and 60.1 miles per gallon for the 4x4. CO2 emissions range from 115 grams/km to 123 grams/km. It's also the only engine available with an automatic gearbox. The rest all feature manual boxes. Equipment and accessories. One of the main selling points of the Duster, along with being cheap, is the decent kit list. For the entry £8,995 4x2 access module, potential buyers get 16-inch steel wheels, roof bars, electric front windows, 4 airbags, emergency spare wheel, height-adjustable steering wheel and remote central locking. Go up to ambience and you get added treats like a radio, CD player with OIN, Bluetooth and USB connection, plus the added practicality of 60/40 split rear seats. The range-topping and expected to be the best-selling Laureate models get the luxuries of aircon, 16-inch alloys, electric rear windows, leather steering wheel and trip computer. The verdict: some people may criticize the Dacia Duster for having a rough and ready interior, or for lacking in refinement, but when you take list prices and monthly PCP repayments into account, all bets are off. Even when you take price out of the equation, the Duster is a likable, family-friendly SUV with bags of room, a competitive range of engines, and good fuel consumption. Resale values aren't bad considering low prices new, making a Duster a very sensible used buy, too. To find out more, continue reading full Dacia Duster review. Dacia Duster performance is on par with its rivals. It was launched with just 1 petrol and 1 diesel engine, but a second petrol has since been added to the lineup. Petrol's the 115 horsepower 1.6-litre petrol engine is adequate for most jobs, and even in 5th gear it pulls well. Figures are relative for this size of car, and it will complete the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint in 11.0 seconds. You'll need to change down a gear or two and keep the revs high when overtaking at speed, but 156 Nm of torque should be enough for most situations. The turbocharged 1.2-litre 125 engine has 10 horsepower more than this 115 and a useful 205 Nm of torque. It'll also go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 10.4 seconds, so it's the one to go for if you want the most performance out of the Duster. One diesel choice. The 1.5-litre DC diesel is a tried and tested engine found elsewhere in the Renault range, as well as various Nissan models. Its 110 horsepower and 260 Nm of torque help get it to 62 miles per hour in 11.8 seconds from a standstill, although the 4x4 version is slightly slower at 12.4 seconds. Gearboxes. This 115 comes with a 5-speed manual gearbox only, while its 125 and DC 110 come with 6-speed boxes. The Soul Automatic, a 6-speed dual-clutch gearbox called EDC, is only available on the 2-wheel drive diesel, and it's a smooth and economical combination. The Dacia Duster is never going to attract enthusiastic drivers. It is not a car for those that enjoy B-road blasts of an evening. If you need 4-wheel drive and want a car that will make you smile, then you should buy a Mini Countryman. When cornering, the Dacia Duster has a fair amount of body roll through corners, and the driving experience is also hampered by the slow and vague steering. However, on the upside, the ride is comfortable. The Duster soaks up most bumps, meaning rear seat passengers should give the Dacia the thumbs up. Interior-wise, the Dacia Duster is a bit cheap and cheerful, but then if you purchase a Duster you are looking at the budget end of the market. The plastics are of low quality, feel hard to touch and will scratch in time. Even the load cover in the boot is flimsy, but it does the job. It just feels a bit low rent. When you have the handbrake in the off position, it hampers you getting to the controls for the wing mirrors. Nothing major, but it is an irritation. Dacia Duster comfort levels are fairly good. The ride soaks up the majority of potholes, yet you'll still feel relatively refreshed after long motorway journeys. Side support and bolstering for your back could be better on the front seats. The high driving position is good while the cabin is focused around the driver. Whether you are traveling in the front or rear, there is plenty of head and legroom for 6-footers. The Duster has a few downsides. The cabin could be better insulated, especially around the door seals. This means that wind, road and engine noise are all quite loud when traveling at motorway speeds. From launch, the Dacia Duster was available in 3 trim levels: Access, Ambience and Laureate. Since then, a top-spec Prestige model has been added to the lineup. Standard Dacia Duster equipment. Standard features on the Duster Access include 16-inch steel wheels, roof bars, electric front windows, 4 airbags, height-adjustable steering wheel, ISOFIX points on the outer rear seats and DAB radio. An emergency spare wheel is also fitted free of charge to 4x4 versions. There's also remote central locking and ABS with emergency brake assist. Move up to Ambience trim and you get ON and USB ports, Bluetooth phone connectivity and steering column mounted stereo controls. There's also body-colored bumpers, front fog lights, 60 hours 40 minutes split folding rear seats and a height-adjustable driver's seat. In 2016, Ambience Prime was added to the lineup, adding chestnut brown metallic paint and different 16-inch alloy wheels over regular Ambience models. Laureate trim is next, which is the most popular model in the UK. These get 16-inch alloy wheels, electric rear windows, air conditioning, cruise control, trip computer, satin chrome roof bars, scuff plates and side sills, electrically adjustable and heated door mirrors and some glossy black plastic trim on the dashboard, center console and interior door handles. Range-topping Prestige models come with a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system with sat-nav, live traffic information, rear parking sensors and a reversing camera. Optional Dacia Duster accessories. A range of options packs are available on the Dacia Duster. A leather pack adds leather upholstery, the protection pack adds an alarm, parking sensors, mudguards and interior mats, and the styling pack adds chrome exterior detailing. If you want more practical features, there's a touring pack which includes a tow bar, roof rack and an armrest, while the action pack adds fog lamps, a spoiler, side steps and a chrome front bar. When tested by Euro NCAP in 2011, the Duster only received 3 stars. Parent company Renault will be hoping for a better Dacia Duster safety score when Euro NCAP come to evaluate the new model. Dacia Duster Practicality is best in class. With the seats in place, the Dacia Duster has 475 litres of luggage space, 408 litres in 4x4 with spare wheel, and with the rear seats folded this expands to 1,636 litres. Compare the boot space on the Duster to the Nissan Qashqai and you can see that the Duster has trumped the class-leading Qashqai on the practicality stakes. With seats in place, the Nissan has 410 litres and when the rear seats are folded flat this expands to 1,513 litres. If you compare the Dacia to the high-end iX35, the Duster comes out on top when the seats are folded flat. The X35 has 591 litres with the seats in place while it has 1,436 when flat. The Mini Countryman is another rival that lags behind in the space race when compared against the Duster. The Countryman has a load space of 350 litres and 1,170 litres. For families, the Duster offers practicality at the bargain basement end of the market. There is a generous amount of interior space in the Dacia. The Duster has 5 seats and you could ferry 5 adults. The middle seat in the rear bench is actually well sized and could accommodate an adult of average size and build. Head and legroom is plentiful.